Hello everyone, how are you all? A very warm welcome from Dr. Alpesh Nakrani. You are very well welcome to the first ever online short-term course from HRDC Saurashtra University, Rajkot. It is on e-content development and online pedagogy. I am Dr. Alpesh Nakrani, Assistant Professor from Srimati J.J. Kundalia Graduate Teachers College. So friends, today we are going to learn about 6 different e-learning platforms. The important thing is that all the 6 e-learning platforms are developed in India and they are government initiatives. So friends, at the outset, first of all, I thank Dr. Kaladhar Arya sir and Dr. Nidar Barot sir for giving me this opportunity to present my ideas, thoughts on e-learning platform. First of all, let us see which are the 6 learning platforms we are going to learn today. All the platforms are from Indian government and all the platforms are e-learning platforms, but one of them is not directly related to e-learning, but it is part of learning process. So all the platforms are from primary students to the higher education students, and they are very interactive. So let us see which platforms are we going to learn. First it's Swayam, then it's Swayam Prabha, then it's ePathshala, then Diksha, then NROER, and then NAD. So before discussing all these 6 platforms, first let me introduce you with some terms related to these things. First is e-content, and then we will learn about what is e-learning. We very well know about e-content. E-learning platforms are impossible without e-content. So what is e-content? E-content is nothing but electronic content. In fact, a radio program telecasted is also an e-content in the audio format. So there are different forms of e-content. These forms can be single. These forms can be multiple, which we call multimedia. A video program is also visual as well as audio. So it can be combined. So when we watch a movie, it is also a combination of different e-content. Simply, first is e-text. So what is e-text? That is electronic text. It is not in the physical format. Any document that can be stored electronically, digitally, it is e-text. It has text in it. Even a photo having text in it, it is also e-text. So that is e-book are one of the examples. Second is an image. Image is a photo or a picture taken by a camera. It may be of a thing, of a person, of a situation, of a natural beauty that you can see in the slide. Third is graphics. Graphics is different from picture. Graphics is generally drawn. It's a painting. The charts, the graphs, the diagrams we draw. So they are not the actual, but they are the representation of the actual objects, actual things. So that is, paintings are also, that is, we can call it graphics. So graphics are generally not taken, they are created. Fourth one is video. We very well know about video. You are watching me live, that is also a video. YouTube is the famous video platform that we know. So it is a moving visual media. Fifth one is animation, a bit different from video. We use different images, different drawings, and we combine them and we make it look that they are moving. Actually, they are not themselves moving, but we make it look that they are moving. So that is, we are animating inanimate things. So that is different types of e-content. So let me then move to what is e-learning. Last one is, I think, audio. Yes, we listen to many audio. The Bollywood songs are audio. So now let us move to e-learning. So e-learning is a platform to learn, but via electronic media, via internet, especially via internet. This internet and this computer technology is used to present the content which we learn in the four-word classroom. It is presented electronically. So what is e-learning? So e-learning is thus basically via electronic media. We use different electronic technologies to provide the educational material through this technology. Especially, as I told you, that is via internet. Of course, the programs, different degree programs are also delivered completely online. There are many such platforms, e-learning platforms available. Many developed countries are already using such platforms and providing this learning. So this term, e-learning was invented. It was coined by US learning guru Elliot Massey in 1999. So it is not new term, but the digital era, in the last 10 years, the development in the digital world and the smartphones and tablet made it easy for e-learning. Mobile has been the greatest device among them. So if we disregard the traditional meaning of learning, the Google and YouTube are also the great teachers of all. So friends, first let us move to our first platform, that is Swayam. First, let me show you a promo video of Swayam, then we will get introduced with the Swayam. Thank you.
अब जॉब के साथ साथ मैं अपनी स्किल और भी ज्यादा बढ़ा सकता हूँ।
पढ़ाना तो मेरा पैशन है, पर मैं 24 घंटे अवेलेबल तो नहीं रह सकता। लेकिन अब मेरी कमी पूरी करने वाला कोई है।
कहते हैं पढ़ने की कोई उम्र नहीं होती और ना ही कोई सीमा, तभी तो आज मैं और मेरी पोती एक साथ पढ़ते हैं।
पहली बार भारत सरकार ने स्वयं वेब पोर्टल की शुरुआत की है, जहां कोई भी व्यक्ति कहीं भी कभी भी किसी भी विषय या पाठ्यक्रम में व्याख्यान सामग्री, ट्यूटोरियल, इंटरैक्टिव सेशन, परीक्षा और प्रमाण पत्र के माध्यम से गुणवत्तापूर्ण शिक्षा प्राप्त कर सकता है, वो भी बिल्कुल मुफ्त। थैंक यू मोदी जी, बदलाव कई, शुरुआत नई।
So friends, let's begin with Swayam. We very well know that our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has launched the Digital India campaign, and Swayam is part of that campaign. One of the aim of Digital India was universal digital literacy. In order to improve the gross enrollment ratio in the education sector from 20% to 30% by 2020, Government of India felt that the conventional education system, the traditional classroom system, will be not sufficient to provide and to achieve that goal. So they decided to use ICT in education, and Swayam was part of that. This is a big way. It is not the first time that government thought about this. The earlier government launched NME ICT. What is NME ICT? That is National Mission of Education through ICT. It was launched by the earlier government, and the aim was that to use the ICT, information and communication technology, to achieve the National Mission of Education and Teaching and Learning. We very well know we are almost 130 crore in population, and we have 121 crore of mobiles. Out of that, 44.6 crore of mobiles are smartphones. We have 56 crore of internet connections and internet users. And we can say that almost 35% of our population using internet. So why can't we capitalize and use these internet users in the teaching, learning and in the field of education? Government has launched many schemes. We know that e-governance, the DigiLocker, the Umang application, online tax filing, e-certificates, the BHIM app, e-Sampak, the local email service. So there are many initiatives by the government, and Swayam was one of that initiative for online learning. So what is Swayam? Swayam is a MOOC. So what is MOOC? MOOC is a massive open online course. That is the full form. Now we understand the words massive open online course. It is a name given to any platform or service that gives online learning facility. We have given email a name to the electronic mailing service. So in the same way, those who give online learning facility, they are MOOC. They are massive. There are plenty of courses available, plenty of material available. They also provide certificates. So it is open to all. Online, it is online, and it is course. So it is thus MOOC. So Swayam is also massive open online course. So now we move ahead. There are very many examples. Earlier than Swayam, the world had already many e-learning platforms. We know such names, that is edX, Udacity, Coursera, FutureLearn, and Indian Khan Academy. So there were private learning platforms, but Indian government thought for the disadvantaged and for the common people that let us launch an Indian initiative, the initiative by government, that is Swayam. So who launched this Swayam? The former President of India, Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, launched it. When was Swayam launched? Swayam was launched on 9th July 2017. Now we can just be amazed with the feeling that 9th July was Guru Purnima, and the President spoke at the launch and said that digital technology enables good teachers to directly teach large number of students who are not physically present in the class. ICT solutions offer an interactive learning. This learning experience gives students of remote areas of India benefit of quality lectures and lectures from top teachers. So thus Swayam is an online learning platform. Now look at the logo of the Swayam and look at the tagline. Free online education. So it is totally free. And we have another Shikshit Bharat Unnat Bharat. And look at the small mouse in the logo. It is very symbolic. What is the full form of Swayam? Swayam actually means self without help of others. But what is the acronym is hidden in this word, Swayam. Study webs of active learning for young aspiring minds. Now it is a website for study, that is study web. Now if you want to learn, you have to be active. And who will learn? It is for whom? Those who are aspiring young minds. Those who want to learn, those who want to aspire and get knowledge from any discipline, any subject, so that is Swayam, and they can get. There are three basic principles to achieve by this launching of the Swayam. First is access. access to all the teachers, all the students, even anyone from the world can access Swayam platform anytime, anywhere. Yes, any person in the world can register on Swayam. Then it is equity. It is same for all, same material for available to irrespective of their gender, their caste, their religion, their language. Quality. Best teachers are providing best material step by step. So it is a bridge to cover the rural area with the urban area. The urban students, we very well know, get benefited with the latest technology. But what about the rural students? So Swayam is thus a very good platform. So who will conduct the and create these content, and who will manage this? So who will provide the content? And first of all, let me discuss who has developed Swayam. Swayam has been developed by MHRD, that is Ministry of Human Resource Development. Then AICTE, that is All India Council for Technical Education. And the technical help and the cloud storage facility was taken from Microsoft. So Microsoft provided this facility. Microsoft Azure is a cloud computing service. Microsoft also helped develop the Swayam app. Yes, Swayam has a website and a web application as well. So this is how they develop Swayam. So the platform is developed, and they will who will prepare the content, who will provide the content. So there are 9 national coordinators related to different level of education and doing different functions. 9 different institutions were given the opportunity to manage the course, to provide the content. Each coordinator is assigned a particular area of maintenance, of particular discipline. For example, AICTE is given the responsibility for self-paced and international level courses. Then it is NPTEL, National Program on Technology Enhanced Learning. It is given the field of engineering sector courses. University Grants Commission is given to prepare courses on post-graduation and graduation and non-technical courses. CEC, that is Consortium of Educational Communication, is given the responsibility for undergraduate UG courses. National Council of Educational Research and Training is given for school education. National Institute of Open Schooling is given the opportunity to develop content for school education. Then Indira Gandhi National Open University, that is IGNOU, the university was already doing the responsibility of online education, distance learning, But now Indira Gandhi National Open University will also prepare content and provide the open education. Indian Institute of Management will focus on management courses. National Institute of Technical Teachers and Training and Research will focus on teacher training programs. So there are plenty of courses available. We will visit the website and see how many courses and how to register. What is the structure of Swayam course? How to learn? How the material is presented. So there is 4-quadrant method. 4 parts of the method. First part is e-tutorial is given. E-tutorial is nothing but direct teaching, and students have nothing to do much. It is the teaching by video, by animation, by PowerPoint presentation, by podcast, that is audio. So that is tutorial. Then second is e-content. This e-content will help him to revise what he has learned in the video content, the e-tutorial. There may be e-books, there may be examples, there may be case studies, there may be content, there may be references, there may be further readings, etc. Third is discussion forums. It means the students can interact with other students to solve his problems, to solve his queries. Then assessment. There is also self-assessment, and those who want to give exams and get certificates, they have the proctor exam. Students will have a test at the end of each unit, and that is self-assessment. If you want to have certificates, you can have the choice of examination, and you have to pay some fees for that. Otherwise, this is totally free. Swayam is totally free. Let me discuss some of the features. It is totally free of cost. If you want to have certificate, you need to pay a little bit of amount. Otherwise, all the courses are completely free. You will be given opportunity to face the exam. That it will be online exam, proctored exam, and marks and grades will be given. And then these marks and grades can be transferred to your academic record. VGC has already issued the notification. It is completely online. It has websites and it has mobile support. It has an application as well, so you can use it through your mobile. It is multimedia. All the types of e-content is available that we have discussed through 4-quadrant method. Anyone, anytime and anywhere can access this material. You can learn from anywhere. Anyone from the world can register. It is available from school to PG. From 9th standard to PG courses, all the courses are available. From arts, science, commerce, performing arts, social science, humanities, engineering, technology, law, medicine, agriculture. We professors have annual refresher course just completed. So, Arpit, that is. It is also taken on Swayam platform. 4-quadrant approach, I discussed it earlier, so no need to repeat it. I would like to give some information about credits. There will be 1 to 4 credit courses. There will be 20 hours of video lecture, 40 hours of reading material. And both type of courses are available, credit courses and non-credit courses. UGC has already issued the notification. Is it valid? Yes, all the courses are approved by Government of India, MHRD. So if you do these courses, they are valid. UGC also announced credit framework for online learning courses through Swayam. So these regulations were published in the year of 2016 in the Gazette of India on July 19th, and it said that Swayam courses credit will be credited to the academic record of the students. UGC regulation requires that university to make changes in their rules and regulations and incorporate the provision of these credits through Swayam platform. So it is indigenous, it is Indian, it is the biggest platform. Earlier there were many platforms, but now according to the latest figures, Swayam is the biggest in the world MOOC platform, providing e-learning facility. Now let's visit the portal and see how it. Let us first visit the Swayam portal. Type in the URL swayam.gov.in and hit enter. Look at the website. It shows the courses here. If you click the subjects of the courses, if you click on the national coordinators, you will find the national coordinators that we talked about. You can find that there are 203 partnering institutions, 3,327 completed courses, more than. Yes, you can see that week-wise material is given. Every week new material is uploaded. If you click on week 1, there are videos, instructional material and quiz as well. If you click on video, you can watch the videos here. Click on the video. If you click on quiz, we do not have time, so we will have very brief introduction. On the quiz, you have MCQs. You need to submit before the given date. It is a part of your assignment, so you can submit the quiz. So this is how you complete all the weeks, and if you want certificates, you can apply it on NTA
National Testing Agency website for the examinations, and you will get the certificates after passing. So this is about Swayam. Next, our e-learning platform is Swayam Prabha, and let me first show you the promo video of Swayam Prabha. Mind well, there is also an application of Swayam which works in the same manner as the website. Thank you.
India is one of the largest country in the world, where it is quite an arduous task to bring the light of education to every person to the remotest corner of the country. Now, Government of India has taken a new initiative in this field, Swayam Prabha. This is a novel idea providing quality education with the help of satellite technology and science.
मान ले पल भर के लिए शायद हमारे पास हर गांव में अच्छे टीचर ना हो, लेकिन आज का विज्ञान हमें लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन के लिए पूरी ताकत देता है। शहर में बैठ करके भी उत्तम से उत्तम शिक्षक के माध्यम से गांव के आखिरी छोर पर बैठे हुए स्कूल के बच्चे को हम पढ़ा सकते हैं। हम सैटेलाइट व्यवस्था का उपयोग, उस आधुनिक विज्ञान का उपयोग हम गरीब बच्चों की शिक्षा के लिए क्यों न करें?
Swayam Prabha is dedicated to spread the light of education to the remotest corner of the country. With its 32 direct-to-home channels, it will transmit various programs on every branch of educational sector. Each of the 32 channels will telecast fresh 4-hour educational content every day, which will be repeated multiple times so that the viewer can pursue it according to their own convenience. The future plan is to increase this content to 6 hours. The content of this program will be based on the graduate and postgraduate curriculum, and they will be planned in a manner so that every student would be benefited by them. These programs will be made in a classroom format, and lectures will be done by the best faculty of the premier educational institutions of the country so that they are more effective. Programs telecasted in these channels will be based on engineering, science, humanity, commerce, and other streams of education. Apart from it, there are 4 IIT PAL channels to telecast programs in mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology to prepare students from 11th and 12th standards for competitive exams like IIT JEE. This marvelous wonder of technological advancement can be viewed at www.swayamprabha.gov.in, where students can get the information about the programs to be telecasted on the channel or view the programs directly. They can lodge their complaints on the site and give their suggestions also. The subscribers of DTH service of DD Direct and Dish TV can view Swayam Prabha channels without any extra expense in the same setup.
So we talked about Swayam, the e-learning platform. Anybody can access through mobile, through internet and through website. But now think about those in the rural part, in the remote parts of India who have no internet connectivity, the students who have no smartphones, how can they get access to this quality material? Those who do not have data, those who do not have internet connectivity, so how can they get benefited from Swayam videos? Yes, we are talking about Swayam Prabha, the TV channels. So Swayam Prabha, it has DTH free 32 TV channels. These are educational channels. Anyone having Doordarshan DTH service can easily get access to these 32 free educational channels. So it's a group of 32 channels, and all the different discipline videos are telecasted on these channels. We remember that we in our childhood we used to watch Gyan Darshan. So this is extended version of Gyan Darshan. Gyan Darshan was one channel. There are 32 channels on different subjects. When was it launched? It was launched along with Swayam on 9th July 2017. the President of India, that is Sri Pranab Mukherjee. It is an initiative by MHRD. It was launched as part of NMEICT, as I talked about it. It is also part of Digital India initiative. The NMEICT also the centrally sponsored scheme to use ICT in education. So these channels are also part of that. So what is the main aim of these channels? So main aim of this channel is to bridge gap in the quality of education and language of delivery between rural and urban. We know that students from urban areas have access to all the latest technology and latest material. They have access to quality education. But what about these rural students? They are less exposed. So they can watch these channels at their home if they have simple DTH at home, a simple set-top box. So the survey says that the students from rural areas, the annual education report says that 50% of the students from rural areas from 5th standard, they cannot read 2nd standard textbook and they cannot even solve basic mathematical questions. They do not have books, good material, regularity in teaching, quality of teaching. Students have to work to earn. So there are many problems. They are earning in the time of school. So this is the issue. So these channels the telecast will be very useful to them. We will manage all these channels by SET, that is Bhaskaracharya Institute for Space Applications and Geoinformatics. It is a state level agency by Government of Gujarat. It will facilitate, it will provide services and solutions to uplink these channels on the satellite. It will telecast high quality educational channels 24/7. It will use GSAT 15 satellites. It's a satellite by ISRO. The Department of Space has allocated 2 transponders for this. Then ECIL will also help here. Electronics Corporation of India Limited will provide necessary infrastructure to create the programs, then to transform these videos into telecast format. And there, in the coordination with BISEC, it will uplink these channels on the air. Then InflipNet, Information and Library Network. It is an autonomous body. It is in Gandhinagar. So it is an autonomous body of UGC under MHRD. So what will it do? InflipNet will maintain the web portal of Swayam Prabha. Now the videos that is telecast in the channels, they will also be available on the web portal in the archives. InflipNet will prepare the timetable, will put the timetable on website of the programs on different disciplines, different subjects. So who will prepare the content? The same question that we asked in Swayam. Content will be provided by NPTEL, IITs, UGC, CEC, IGNOU, NCERT and NIOS. Now all these institutions we are familiar with. We talk about in Swayam. So they will provide content. The content, all the institutions were given different channels, different number of channels, different disciplines, the subjects. It is available on web portal, so I cannot discuss all the 32 channels. One thing more important is IIT from Madras, Bombay, Delhi, Kharagpur, Kanpur and Guwahati. These 6 IITs have a facility of live classrooms, 20 live classrooms. And they will help to create content with the help of these content providers, and they will transform these videos and transmit to the satellite. What is the organizational structure of Swayam Prabha? The uppermost part is technical committee. They are responsible for telecasting the channels. Then national coordinators, as I talked to you, they will provide content, prepare content. Then channel coordinators. Each channel has one coordinator who will look after that channel. Then we have subject matter expert group. They are the basic experts who deliver the lectures on telecast. So DTS channels shall cover different level of education. First of them is higher education. Higher education, there will be curriculum based courses, contents, PG and UG courses. And the content will be provided based on the curriculum of the universities. From arts, commerce, science, social science, humanities, engineering, technology, medicine, whatever it is. If you want certificate, you need to visit Swayam. But if you want to learn, you can watch these channels. Then we have school education from 9 to 12. The teachers' modules, the content based on curriculum will also be available on that. So from 9th standard to 12th standard. So any student can learn. Some lectures will be on competitive exams as well. So that is really good. Then we have curriculum based courses that can meet the needs of lifelong learners. That is whose age has passed to learn, they can learn. It is like open education. That is IGNOU, format of IGNOU. Then assist students from especially class 11 to 12 students to prepare for the competitive exams that they are going to give. So what will be the telecast timetable? Every day, mind will, there will be new content, but only for 4 hour new content. So the content will be 4 hour every day, new content, and that 4 hour new content will be repeat telecasted 5 times. So 24 hours there will be telecast, but daily we will have only 4 hours of new content, then repeated telecast of that 4 hour content. So this you can find the timetable on the web portal. We will visit the web portal. So thus the students from very remote area with no internet connectivity, simple DTH service, they can get benefited of 32 free educational channels from expert teachers of India. It is totally free. The Doordarshan DTH provides free service. Some of the private DTH service providers like Tata Sky and Airtel has also started telecast these channels. So you can have these channels on your DTH platforms. Now let us visit the website and the portal.
First type swayamprabha.gov.in. Here is the website. You can click on channels and allocation to know which channels are allocated to which institution. For example, channel number 1 to 10 are managed by CSC UGC. The name of coordinator is also given for each channel. The names of channel and the subject of the channel is also given. The Vagesh, Sanskriti, Prabodh, Saraswat are the names of these channels. If you click on the view button and the last link, you will find the timetable of the channel, the upcoming programs, the archive videos, and the name of the subject for which the video is available. And if you want to give feedback for any particular channel, you can click on feedback and your name, select channel and write the message. If you want to receive different alerts on SMS about the upcoming programs, you can register here by clicking the registration button. So this is in short an introduction about the Swayamprabha web portal. That's all. Next we will learn about ePathshala. Let us first see about the ePathshala promo video.
अब मुश्किल नहीं,
ई पाठशाला में सब कुछ है, बस जरूरत है एक क्लिक की। एक क्लिक, एक चुटकी और आपकी मुट्ठी में होंगी ढेर सारी जानकारियां, कुछ मौज, कुछ मस्ती। इसमें किताबें आपसे बातें करेंगी और कंप्यूटर होगा आपका दोस्त। यही नहीं, मोबाइल दिखाएगा कहानियां, ऑनलाइन विज्ञान से होगी मुलाकात, मोबाइल ऐप और वेबसाइट से होगी ज्ञान की बात। इसमें होगी ध्वनि, इसमें होगा दृश्य और संगीत का साथ। अध्यापक हो या अभिभावक, सच में अब मुश्किल नहीं, अब न जाए कोई छूट। ई पाठशाला क्लिक भर दूर।
So now let us talk about e-Pathshala. Now e-Pathshala, look at the word e-Pathshala. Pathshala basically means school. So this is like e-school. So e-Pathshala means e-school. So this is the portal which gives opportunity almost like schools. You go to school for learning. This is almost like your e-school, learning on the go. So you find the logo, the word is given, that is learning on the go. So the material is available on e-Pathshala portal online. You can download all the material related to school education free of cost. All the textbooks, the material is available in all the languages. There is also an application available in English, Hindi and Urdu. So it is virtually a school on the go. Learning on the go is the tagline. When was it launched? It was launched on 7th November 2015. Then HRD Minister Mrs. Smriti Irani. Why was it launched? It was launched to showcase and distribute all the educational e-resources. It hosts, it stores all the educational e-resources for teachers, for students, for parents, for educators, for anybody. Why? To achieve equitable, quality, inclusive education and lifelong learning. Who has developed? e-Pathshala is developed by MHRD, Government of India, and with the help of NCERT and CIAT, Central Institute of Educational Technology, part of NCERT. CIAT is the national premier institute related to educational technology, and it uses technology in education since long, but now it will use its resources for e-Pathshala. So these institutes developed e-Pathshala. Now they provide many material on online basis. This will provide opportunities, this will promote equity, this will improve the quality of educational process at school level. Who can access? Students, teachers, educators and parents. All can access. There are separate buttons and menu on the website. If you are a student, click here. If you are a teacher, click here. Different resources are available for different teachers, educators and parents. We will visit the website and we will see what is there to offer. But all of them can access to the textbooks, to the supplementary books, they can participate in events, exhibitions, contests, festivals, workshops. They can download e-resources, that is audio, video, interactive material, animations, question banks even. And especially teachers and educators can download handbooks. All the e-textbooks are available. They can contribute to journals and periodicals. They can read the policy documents of the government. They can have the syllabus. So what are the features of e-Pathshala? First of all, it is related to class 1 to 12. All the textbooks from all the boards are available on the portal. You can download these textbooks using QR code, or using QR code the picture. You can download the textbooks. So no need to have physical textbooks as a student. You can also use QR code to directly go to the related content to your particular lesson in the textbook. There are audio, visuals, interactive content available on ePathshala. If you scan a code on your textbooks, because UGC and MHRD has also, I will talk about that, released a notification regarding this QR code in the textbooks. So the material is uploaded by NCERT, provided by NCERT, and please do not get confused with EPG Pathshala. Now that was ePathshala for school level 1 to 12. Now EPG Pathshala is for EG and PG courses. The graduate and postgraduate courses are covered and the lectures are available on that. So now let us visit both the sites and see.
ePathshala website. ePathshala.nic.in. Type here and you will receive this home page. You can see ePathshala for students, for teachers, for educators and for parents. Now if you click on students, you will find e-textbooks, supplementary books, events and resources for the students. Now if you click on e-textbooks, you will find different textbooks in the digital format from Hindi medium, English medium, Sanskrit medium and NCERT textbooks are currently available. I told you that many other state boards are asked to upload all the textbooks. They are slowly uploading everything. So you can click on any of the book. You can search by standard 1 to 3, 1 to 12. You can search by subject. For your example, if you select class 5, you can select the class 5 subjects. You can select the book title. If you select, for example, Hindi, you will select the book title, that is Rimjim, and then you go, you will find your textbook here. Chapter wise you can watch the textbooks and you can also download the complete PDF of the textbook. So it is just like, you can see that it is like an ebook, right? Almost like reading a textbook. Then if you want to access this material through QR code, you can click on access e-resources through QR code and you can type here the QR code and go. You will directly find the resource or the textbooks. There are e-resources, as I told you. If you click on any of these and you will find the e-resources tab here. There are 2,597 total e-resources in the form of audio, video, in the Hindi, English, Sanskrit, Gujarati, Malayalam, Telugu, Assamese language. Currently all these languages, new languages will be added later on. There are all the from primary level to the teacher and research scholars level. Now you can see the video content here. If you click on the video starts playing. You can see it is also available on YouTube. So you can watch the videos. Thus ePathshala provides e-content for everybody. I also told you that there is EPG Pathshala. EPG Pathshala is for PG and UG courses. You can see student corners. You can see the different subjects and the material available in the number. For example, if you click on English and find 560 topics available. So you can select the papers, any paper that you want. I told you that it is based on curriculum. So it is paper, Introduction to the Age. Here you will find the e-text, so learn more and self-learning tab. You can find the videos or the topic as well. So this is for postgraduate and courses and graduation courses, and this one is for from standard 1 to 12. Next e-learning platform is Diksha. Let me first show you the promo of Diksha.
देश की शिक्षा में सबसे बड़ा योगदान देते हैं हमारे टीचर्स। एक टीचर ही अपने बच्चों को सही राह दिखाती है और उसकी मेहनत और लगन से ही बच्चों का कल संवरता है। पर हमारे टीचर्स का क्या? जहां सारा देश डिजिटल होकर आगे बढ़ रहा है, कई टीचर्स तक ये साधन नहीं पहुंच पा रहे हैं। उन्हें अपनी जरूरत और समय के अनुसार ट्रेनिंग भी नहीं मिल पा रही है। पर अब समय आ गया है बदलाव का, हमारे टीचर्स को सशक्त बनाने का। वे भी नए तरीके अपनाना चाहते हैं और उनका साथ देंगे हम सब मिलकर। दीक्षा, नेशनल डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर फॉर टीचर्स। एक कदम देश भर के टीचर्स, स्टूडेंट टीचर्स और टीचर एजुकेटर्स के विकास की ओर, जिससे हमारे टीचर्स कभी भी, कहीं भी और कैसे भी अपने स्किल्स को बढ़ा पाएं और अपने सब्जेक्ट्स को पढ़ाने के लिए हाई क्वालिटी टीचिंग, लर्निंग एंड असेसमेंट रिसोर्सेज एक्सेस कर पाएं और बना पाएं, ताकि हमारे टीचर्स का देश भर में बढ़े सम्मान। और यही नहीं, दीक्षा हर कदम पर निभाएगा टीचर्स का साथ। TEI में स्टूडेंट होने की शुरुआत से लेकर रिटायरमेंट तक दीक्षा रखेगा उनके काम और उपलब्धियों का पूरा रिकॉर्ड, क्योंकि जब टीचर्स होंगे सशक्त, तभी शिक्षा होगी बेहतर और देश का होगा विकास। आज दीक्षा तैयार है राज्यों और TEI से जुड़ने के लिए। वे अपने जरूरत के अनुसार इस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को कस्टमाइज कर सकते हैं। कई राज्य दीक्षा के अलग अलग पहलुओं को चैंपियन कर रहे हैं। यही नहीं, दीक्षा के जरिए TEIs में स्टूडेंट टीचर्स और टीचर एजुकेटर्स कोर्स रिलेटेड कंटेंट बनाकर अपलोड कर सकते हैं और एक दूसरे से शेयर भी कर सकते हैं। इस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पर हमारा साथ कई पार्टनर्स दे रहे हैं। तो आएं और आप भी जुड़िए दीक्षा के साथ और रखें एक मजबूत नींव हमारे हीरोज के लिए।
So friends, we talked about students. All the 3 learning platforms are for students. Swayam was obviously for everybody. But now let us talk about teachers. What about our heroes, our teachers? That is the tagline of this new portal that is launched by MHRD, that is Diksha. The tagline goes National Digital Infrastructure for our teachers. So it is digital infrastructure for teachers, our heroes. We know that the meaning of Diksha, it's a Sanskrit word. It is the preparation for a religious ceremony. It is giving of mantra by Guru to his Shishya, that is Guru Shishya Parampara. So this is actually a tribute to teachers by MHRD and NCTE. It is an initiative by these two bodies. It is a teacher training program. It is full of such courses. The website is designed, developed and maintained by MHRD. When was Diksha launched? Diksha was launched on 5th September 2017. Now look at the date. 5th September is nothing but the Teachers' Day. We celebrate it in the memory of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. On 5th September, it is the birth anniversary of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, who was very good educationist, a well-known diplomat, scholar, President of India, and above all a teacher. What will it do? It will enable, it will accelerate, it will amplify the solutions in the realm of teacher education. The aim of the portal is to provide digital platform for teachers to make their life more digital, technology based. If they want to learn and they want to have training of different courses, they can go register on Diksha. They can also have their profile from being student teacher to throughout the career. They can maintain their profile on this portal. It will help many educational institutions to develop the skills of their teachers through Diksha. It will help teachers, it will aid teachers to learn and train themselves, improve their quality. improve their skills, boost their skills. So what are the benefits? I told you. It will help prepare teacher profile and registry. What is that? It will help the state level agency, the state level Diksha portal, the state boards to register their teachers and create their profiles on the Diksha portal. It will be a record of their teachers from being a student teacher to the end of their career. So any organized institution can register here and register their teachers, their members on the portal. For example, an organization or NGO, any certification body can add their staff on Diksha portal. So Diksha users can use that course is for training. Then there are teaching and learning content available, curriculum linked resources for teachers and students in the interactive format, engaging format are available. Students can download all the textbooks from standard 1 to 12. Recently, I told you that recently MHRD issued the notification on 18th November 2019 that all the state boards should upload their textbooks on Diksha portal. NCERT has already uploaded all the textbooks and all the mediums. Then content creation. This platform will not only help content creation, uploading content, so you yourself can upload the content after approval of the body. So then teacher professional development, contextualized digital courses for supporting teachers in their professional development. So teachers can have professional development in this portal. There are many add-on courses. Teachers can sharpen their skills. Recently there was COVID-19 awareness course as well. Some of our participants are doing this educational statistics course on Diksha portal. That is one of them. So it is also a repository of relevant courses to help. It will also help principals, vice principals and head of the schools to improve their leadership skills. Then that is assessment, the resources and tools for teachers and students and school level assessments are available there. Then it also supports innovation, innovative pedagogy. You can share your innovation on Diksha portal. So any teacher of the other states, other part of the country can learn from your experience, your pedagogical experiment, your strategy of teaching. Then there is community is as well. You can join the teacher community all over the country. So this is how you can take help of the Diksha portal. You can take training, you can get certificate. Teachers get certificates after successfully completing the course. Let me talk about QR code in Diksha especially. You can use 6-digit QR code that is given at the end of the book or inside the book for downloading the content, downloading the textbooks, downloading the syllabus. The QR code inside the textbooks also will be useful to you. You can directly download all the e-material free of cost. MHRD has directed all the state boards to include Diksha QR codes in their textbooks. So if students scan that code, it will directly help him take to that material available on Diksha portal. It is almost like a link, hyperlink. MHRD has also directed that all the textbooks will be provided in audio format. That is quite new. Teachers can download their lesson plans, videos, learning outcomes. There is a mobile application of Diksha as well and a web portal as well. So let us visit the web portal.
Let us first visit Diksha. Diksha.gov.in. Type here. So you will find the home page of the Diksha portal. Diksha.gov.in. So here you have options library and trainings. Click on library. Library shows the e-resources available by different state boards and the CBSE as well. You can see CBSE here selected. There are many boards. CBSE has English medium, Hindi medium, Sanskrit medium, and Urdu medium text and material. You can click on any of these. For example, First Flight English textbook. You can also download textbook here. And you can also learn about these resources by video, audio, and interactive content. You can see this. It is project work for language learning. There will be QR code for this as well. You can also enter here the QR code if you find in the textbooks. You can click here and you can directly come here. There is another option, that is training. It is for teachers. It is the teacher training courses from different boards, different institutions. For example, if I type GCRT, it has created many courses. So it will show the courses from GCRT. For example, course on basic educational statistics, course on social science, course on Gandhian philosophy. If you click on the course, you will find if it is available or not. If you click on the course, it will show the units, it will show the material. You have to complete this material in the defined time. No batch is found, so you are not eligible to here join because it is not available. So this is how you can explore the courses and you can join the courses. It is almost like Swayam. You can log in here without registration and login. You can't do anything. You can log in with your Google account and you can register here like in the Swayam using your details. If you click on register here, details will be given. You will receive the code from using your mobile and you can register here by OTP. So this is how you can use Diksha for teacher training courses and you can get different certificates. Our next topic is NROER. Let me first show you.
So friends, now what is NROER? NROER, you can see in the logo, National Repository of Open Educational Resources. Now you see the word repository. Repository means just a storehouse, a storage. Now look at the word open educational resources. Open educational resources, that are the teaching and learning material, then you can freely use. You can freely download, you can reuse it. You need not any permission of anybody. There is textbooks, there are reading material, there is exams, test banks, online courses, syllabus, lesson plans, audio visuals, even software that can be downloaded. So when it was launched, NROER was launched on 13 August 2013 in New Delhi in collaboration with Department of School Education and Literacy, MHRD. And it is developed by CIET and NCERT. We know about it. What is the aim? The aim is to host large number of educational resources. It hosts large number of educational resources in many subjects in different Indian languages from primary, secondary and senior secondary classes. The resources are available in different formats like video, image, audio, documents, interactive, to enable participation of the community. Now the content is provided by the community. So you can upload your content on ePathshala. You can share your digital resources on ePathshala. To enhance the quality of education, that is the basic requirement, basic aim, to facilitate teachers to create and share teaching and learning resources. And last but not the least, to motivate the innovation of the teachers. So who will host this all material? That is Meta Studio. Meta Studio is the platform hosting the repository. It is an initiative by Homi Bhabha Center for Science Education, Mumbai. So it will host all this material. There is a word open source and CC by SA. So this is CC is Creative Commons, that is copyright, digital copyright system. So it is a license. If an author wants to share his content online, he needs to have the license if he wants. If you want to make it free, available to all, or if you want to make it commercial, if you want to restrict its use. So CC is Creative Commons and SA, share for all, share alike. So you can share, you can copy, you can publish, you can modify this content available on NROER. You can legally reuse, revise, remix and redistribute the content. It is open. What are the formats available? We will visit the website for the format, the video, the image, the audio, the documents are available. The digital resources are primarily divided into 5 categories, that is maths, science, social science, languages, arts education. So teachers can upload related to these all the subjects. It will be reviewed by the experts, then will be uploaded. In addition to this, NROER allows teachers to download, share, comment and rate the material available on the platform. So ratings will help to find the appropriate material, the good rating material, good material. So we will visit the website and see what is the level of content. Primary, secondary and senior secondary classes only. The content providers, they are NROER is a collaborative platform. Institutes like SCRT, that is State Council of Educational Research and Training, SIERT, that is State Institute of Educational Research and Training, SIE, that is State Institute of Education, Vidya Prasar, it is an autonomous organization under Department of Science and Technology, CCERT, that is Council of Computer Education Research and Training, GIET, that is Gujarat Institute of Educational Technology, SIET and others. Whoever want to share his content are allowed to share his content. What are the features? It is open access, as I told you. Anyone can access this. Resources are available free of cost. Resources are shareable. Yes. Let us visit the website.
Let us visit the website of NROER. You can see the almost all the website address has .gov.in, so it is easy to remember. nroer.gov.in.gov.in. So if you click that, you will find this home page which has two options, that is repository and workplaces. Click on repository, you will find themes, you will find e-library, you will find e-books, you will find partner showcase, you will find events, and you will find e-courses. You can click on the easiest one, that is e-books. You will find different e-books available here. You can select here subject, target group, language and level. For example, language. You can select English, for example, and filter. So only English language textbooks will be shown. You can see, for example, let us open the accountancy book. Here you can see the book and you can download the book as well. It is loading still, don't worry. So many books are available. You can click on the chapters and you can also load the book. It is PDF format. You can download the textbook here by clicking the download button. So all the textbooks are available here. Then we have the workplaces option. Workplaces are the people who contribute to this repository. If you want to contribute as an individual, as an institution, as an interested group, this is GHSS School MOVA, which is the best contributing agency. It is a group of schools, networks. State partners means the state boards can contribute. So this portal is for contribution to the course. These are the individual contributors you can find. These people, Arvind Gupta has contributed here. So you can see the Arvind Gupta's resources here. If you click on that, you will find the resource and you can click on the video. You can see that. So this repository has this. You can also log in here and you can use your email password and log in. If you do not have account, you can create here the account. First you have to create account, then you can log in. So we do not have time, so this is very short visit. Then our last visit will be about NAD, National Academic Depository. Let me first show you its promo, then we will get introduction about NAD.
यार मेरा फोल्डर खो गया, मेरे सारे डिग्री और सर्टिफिकेट्स उसमें थे, अब मैं क्या करूं?
आपका वीज़ा प्रोसेस नहीं हो सकता सर, आपके एकेडमिक अवार्ड वेरीफाइड नहीं है।
हम सभी को अक्सर ऐसी समस्याओं का सामना करना पड़ता है, पर अब ऐसी सभी समस्याओं का समाधान है NAD, यानी नेशनल एकेडमिक डिपॉजिटरी। भारत दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा शैक्षणिक क्षेत्र है। यहाँ 47 केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालयों, 365 राज्य विश्वविद्यालयों, 123 डीम्ड विश्वविद्यालयों और 269 निजी विश्वविद्यालयों से हर साल लगभग 1.5 करोड़ छात्र शैक्षणिक मानपत्र हासिल करते हैं। इसी तरह CBSE, राज्य बोर्ड और ICSE द्वारा लगभग 3.5 करोड़ छात्रों को शैक्षणिक मानपत्र वितरित किए जाते हैं। ऐसे में भारत सरकार द्वारा NAD के जरिए सभी शैक्षणिक मानपत्रों को डिजिटाइज करने का फैसला किया गया है। NAD वो प्रणाली है जिसके द्वारा हर एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूशन द्वारा छात्रों को दी जाने वाली डिग्री, सर्टिफिकेट या डिप्लोमा को सीधा NAD में अपलोड कर दिया जाएगा। इस ऑनलाइन डिजिटल डिपॉजिटरी को कभी भी कहीं से भी कनेक्ट करके अपनी डिग्रियों को देखा जा सकता है या उन्हें डाउनलोड किया जा सकता है। भारत सरकार के इस उपक्रम में 2 इंटर ऑपरेबल डिजिटल डिपॉजिटरीज CVL और NDML कार्यरत हैं, जो इन मानपत्रों को डिपॉजिट करने, सहेजने और सुरक्षित करने का कार्य करेंगे। इस सुविधा के कार्यरत होते ही देश के सभी शैक्षणिक संस्थान इससे जुड़ जाएंगे, जिसमें सभी छात्रों के शैक्षणिक मानपत्रों को अपलोड किया जाएगा। मानव संसाधन मंत्रालय एवं विश्वविद्यालय अनुदान आयोग की इस पहल से करोड़ों छात्र, उनके अभिभावक, शैक्षणिक संस्थान, भारतीय एवं विदेशी एम्प्लॉयर्स व संस्थान सरकार द्वारा मान्यता प्राप्त विशिष्ट संस्थान आदि लाभान्वित होंगे। देश के शैक्षणिक संस्थान अपने छात्रों के सभी मानपत्रों और अंक पत्रों को इन डिपॉजिटरीज में अपलोड करेंगे। वहीं छात्र दुनिया के किसी भी कोने से किसी भी समय सिर्फ आधार के जरिए या नेट पहचान के जरिए अपने मानपत्रों को कहीं से भी देख सकेंगे, उन्हें डाउनलोड कर सकेंगे या एम्प्लॉयर्स को इन्हें जांचने की इजाजत देकर वेरिफिकेशन की लंबी प्रक्रिया से बच सकते हैं। अधिक जानकारी के लिए www.ned.gov.in पर संपर्क किया जा सकता है। भारत सरकार की इस शानदार पहलकदमी से शैक्षणिक मानपत्र खोने, चोरी होने या खराब होने की संभावना खत्म हो जाती है। इन्हें कहीं से भी और कभी भी देखा जा सकता है। इनका ऑनलाइन सत्यापन किया जा सकता है।
Let us talk about our last platform. It is not actually a learning platform. It is just a depository. I talked in the earlier part that one of our platform is not actually e-learning platform, but it is a depository. So what is NAD? NAD is National Academic Repository. It is 24/7 available online. It is depository. Repository means it is a storehouse of all academic awards. Your certificates, your diplomas, your degrees, your mark sheets, everything is digitized and uploaded by academic institutions here. The boards, the eligibility assessment bodies like NET, and the students can also upload their documents. So why do we need this? We know that there are many issues and administrative problems for verification of mark sheets, issue of its and its storage, its loss, its duplication, the fake certificates in the market. So to fight this was launched. This NAD will store, will retrieve, will authenticate, and will allow online verification of these certificates. NAD not only ensures easy access to all retrieval of academic award, but it also validates and guarantees its authenticity and safe storage. When was it launched? It was launched with Swayam and Swayam Prabha on 9 July 2017 by our President Sri Pranab Mukherjee and then MHRD Minister Sri Prakash Javadekar ji. It is an initiative by MHRD under the Digital India campaign, who are authorized. Government has authorized UGC with agreement to NDML and CVL. Now what is NDML? NDML is NSDL Database Management Limited. What is CDSL? CDSL Ventures Limited, that is CVL. Now what do both these agencies were doing and how they were used in the education? So NDML is part of NSDL. So what is NSDL? NSDL is National Securities Depository Limited. What was it doing? It is the central security depository in Mumbai. Banks, insurance companies, share market use this platform for digital storing of documents, of transactions. Now it will store your academic awards. CVL were also doing this. CVL is the largest KYC registration agency in India. So the experience of these two bodies will be used to digitize the academic awards of the citizens of our country, of the students of our country. What will be the features? The documents will be digitized, as I told you. It is safe storage. You need not worry about the documents. Safeguard against losing of physical copies. You can have duplicate copies, verified copies if you lose your documents. It is 24/7 available anywhere, anytime you can download. Online verification is the biggest advantage of this. Well, how institutions registered and tied with NAD can automatically get verified their documents. The banks, the employers, the companies verify their candidate documents when they employ them. So they can use NAD portal to verify directly, no need of physical correspondence. It will stop fake certificates because online verification is available. It will stop fake market, forging of certificates. The fraudulent activity is very prevalent in our country. The mark sheet can easily be verified online, so it will reduce the risk and the reputation of the institutes. It will also reduce the administrative efforts. They need to do not need to store them in physical formats. It will be online. No need to have physical verification. It will be totally online verification. So lots of administrative efforts will be lessened. It is very easy to obtain. If you lose your certificates, no issue. You can have duplicate copy of the certificate, verified copy from NAD website. It is authentic copy, it is approved, it is valid. Who can use? Students and other academic award holders, verifying entities like banks, private companies, government body, all the academic institutions, central institutions, MHRD, UCG institutions, UGC institutions. Who has joined up to now? Central universities, many central universities has joined. We will visit the website and see who has joined central higher educational institutions, then deemed to be universities, then we have state universities, then we have private universities join this platform. There are many institutions like ITI, Ministry of Skill Development Entrepreneurship institutes, CBSE and many state boards have joined this. So this is quite a useful platform for this, and please do not get confused with DigiLocker. You will argue that DigiLocker is also a digital repository of your certificates, but DigiLocker is available to any citizen of India, and this is only user allowed website, means you can upload your documents and you can download your documents on DigiLocker. There is no indirect verification process. Now, one thing is that you can upload driving license, your vehicle registration license and academic documents. If you are a user of DigiLocker, you will have 1 GB of storage. But in NAD, National Academic Depository, look at the word academic, only academic records and mark sheets can be uploaded. So this is the difference between DigiLocker, and the DigiLocker has no inter-verification process. Users can only see and download the documents. So there are 2 websites for this. One of these is nad.gov.in. It is for information only. And if you want to register and upload your digital documents, you need to go to nad.ndml.in. You can use your Aadhaar card to register, and without Aadhaar card, you can also register now. Let's visit the website.
Let us visit the National Academic Depository website. I told you there are 2 websites. First is for information only, and second one is for actual uploading of the documents and verification website. So nad.gov.in is just for information only. You can know about what is NAD, what are the charges. Up to the age of 27, any student is free. It is free to upload and verify the documents. So this website answers your frequently asked questions, and this website is just for information only. Degrees, certificates, mark sheets are stored 24 that I talked to you. Then actual website is nad.ndml.in, on which you can register and upload your documents. Here the students can know how he can register, how he can get his ID, and how he can upload. Academic institutions also can know about the procedure for registrations. The external verifiers can also know how to verify the documents. If you see on register button, you can register here by Aadhaar card or without Aadhaar card. If you are already registered, you can log in. If you are not registered, you join now. When you click join now, you can see you need to use your Aadhaar card number. If you do not have Aadhaar card number, you can also register without Aadhaar card number. There is simple different procedure. You can upload your Aadhaar eKYC. You can enter the file password. Everything is given. You can click view demo to know how to do all these things. So here you can see that NSDL manages this website. NDML is part of this NSDL institution. So this is the website, and it stores the digital documents. You can see here about NAD, and you can see here how it does this. So this is all about today. Thank you.